Hey everyone, we've had a few questions on how to properly break into very compressed tea cakes, not unlike our Ambrosia cake that we're using as a fundraiser cake for Light Meets Life. So there's a few things that we can talk about because it can be a little difficult to break into a very compressed cake such as this, especially if you don't have the right tools. And ideally we would have some sort of puerh knife, which are specifically designed to help break into cakes. And we know a lot of you aren't going to have such tools. And if you don't, that's okay. That's why we're actually going to use just like a regular butter knife, because most of you will have that type of tool to work with. And it's strong enough to get into the compressed cake. It has a flat enough edge that allows you to kind of pry into it. And there's a handle so you can work with it carefully, and you can be gentle with your tea cake, because it's not about just strength and strong tools. So one of the first things you can look for on your cake around the edge is you can actually see where there's different places that are more compressed. And you want to look for the place, both with your eyes and with your puerh knife or your butter knife, and find where's the place that's going to give into this tea cake. Because you might have to exert some pressure, but it's not like forcing your puerh knife into the cake. You're trying to find the place where the cake gives, and then you're going to pry into that very carefully and gently, because you want to break into it as carefully as possible. You want whole leaves to come off as opposed to like breaking small chunks off. So just looking around this tea cake, I can see it's really compressed around here. You can feel it when you take your knife, and your knife doesn't go in. The tea doesn't give in that spot. So you're just going to keep working around and talking to your tea, as it were, and finding a place where it kind of gives. And once you find that softer spot, which is usually around the edge, you can work in that area. And then you can break the tea off gently and carefully, and it really helps if you have some sort of tray, like we have here, to catch the leaves as they break off. You don't need like a specific tray like this. If you have one, that's great. You can use anything really to break into your cake and collect them, as long as it's a clean surface. And you just want to be really careful if you're working with a knife or a sharp object, because as you're breaking in, it can start to give really quickly, so you want to just be careful with your fingers. Just like this, I'm going to work my way in. I found the spot that gives. You can feel it, you can even hear it. It's a good way to start like a dialogue with your tea. And this is the place where I'm going to be able to break into this just carefully and gently. It's breaking off into the tray. These are very compressed, so you're going to get little bits that just can't be helped, but try as best you can to keep whole leaves when you're breaking into it. Just be patient, there's no rush, and you're going to have to move around and find different areas where your puerh knife or your butter knife gives into that tea cake. I hope that helped answer some of your questions about breaking into more compressed cakes. Let us know if you have any other questions, and we'd be happy to address them for you and make quick educational videos like these to help.